Okay, before we vote on this, obviously we have this in front of us. Does anybody have any other thoughts or way that we could handle this without going here? Because I have nothing. Does anybody else have anything?
Is there, what's the precedent around, wetlands that had been historically filled, or how does that remediate it? Like, what's a successful remediation look like, or is it merely restoration?
I've written remediation plans, everything from removing the material to simply seeding it in with New England wet mix, which is a seed species, to actually removing and restoring actual wetland soil, where they're actually recreating wetland soil from leaves and compost and loam and things like that. It all depends on what the functions and values of that wetland were to begin with. And it goes up and down from there. But usually 9 out of 10 times it's removing the material, restoring the original wetland vegetation, and letting it be. That's what's normal.
Anybody else for any thoughts, ideas, considerations before we move back to the restoration?
Would you consider just an encapsulation?
No, sir. It is done without a permit. So
I believe I have written permission from the board that I'm relying upon. I don't believe that's ever going to be erased. At the time when the commission says I don't need a permit, there's no timeline on that. I don't see that I've operated without a permit.
Well, I disagree. And so at this point, we'll have to leave it at that. We'll have to sit and figure it out ourselves. But at this time, we have a problem in front of us. We have a complaint, and we are going to answer the complaint. And within the rules and regulations that we are given. So again, we have entered your information that you were told in 2009, some 14 years, 9 months ago, that you did not need a permit. Is there any reason why you waited this exorbitant amount of time to take this action?
Time and money. I don't think it's exorbitant. I've just never been able to finish it. Like I said, health, sickness, death. 2008, the road pretty much shut down. There's no question from plants. No materials. It's been stuck. I'm in no hurry to finish this project. I don't have the resources to build it out. I built it when I had some money. That's the bottom line. It's been done cheaply, soft money, and trying to do it right. I tried to build it as I promised to do it right. I don't think I've done anything improper. If reinforced concrete is improper versus just crushed concrete, then I made a mistake. I didn't realize it was full of steel.
So noted.
Is there a reason why you didn't contact me and let me know that you were going to be doing that? Or?
Because you mentioned it years ago that you knew that it was in the minutes, and you acknowledged that it didn't need a permit.
No, I did not do that.
Well, I'm not forgetful. You knew that I had written permission for it.
No, I did not.
There is no written permission here. It's a verbal at the time in 2009. And that's all it was a verbal.
Okay,
So,
it's in writing. I'm relying on that.
very good. Again, it's noted. We appreciate you coming and giving us the fullness of the argument so we understand both sides. Does anybody have any questions based on what has just transpired from Mr. Granger or for anyone about that particular, piece of information? Why it was put there, why it took so long, etc.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
On January 19th of 2017, Carl Granny was issued a letter, which he passed from Joe around the board. He requested his presence at the meeting, which he did not attend. The board asked him 4 months ago to submit a new plan for his work he is doing on his property on Pendleton Hill Road. He has not done so. John Moran recused himself because of the property. After application to the board of a letter of violation of wetlands was issued to Mr. Grenier, Lester seconded the motion carried. He never responded.
And that may actually be some of your, misunderstandings, that because you never responded and they were asking a direct question, and because you didn't respond, you never had the information in its fullness to make a decision today. So we understand that you may have been mistaken. However,
And then further, the driveway construction within wetlands, Joe reported he sent a letter to Mr. Grenier stating that the commission is still waiting for an application and a site plan for the work he is doing. Currently, Mr. Grenier is talking to one engineering firm. There's no application or site plan at this time. Mr. Grenier explained to the board what is going on so far, but he has nothing definite to show the board. Lester stated that since he already has engaged an engineer, he has no problem extending this for another month. Nothing happened after that.
but we do have the engineered site plan that was eventually done, and the permit was issued, so we know that was taken care of. Okay, I don't see any value, we all know, your position, we all know what the recommendation is. I don't see any probative value of continuing to go back and forth. Anybody, any further discussion? Okay, so we have, once again, I want to say this topic was the restoration. So it was a report from wetland scientist with a wetland function and value impact statement. Soil or wetland scientist documented a remediation plan and associated site plan. Does anybody have any discussion about that? No discussion? Do we have a motion? And if you wish, I'll reread that. If someone so wishes to move it, I'll reread it so you don't have to try to do it from memory if you so wish.
I'll make a motion for restoration.
Okay, so for restoration that is encompassing, once again, report from wetland scientists with a wetland function and value impact statement, a soil or wetland scientist documented remediation plan and associated site plan, which is part and parcel of the restoration. We have a motion for that. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second for the motion.